1 second. I almost lost my train of thought. Hold on. Oh, okay, yes. Okay. Hi. Thank you for waiting. Welcome. Welcome to the study. Have you been here before? I can't remember. No? Okay, well, welcome. As you know, I've been spending all of my time here. I am losing my voice a little bit, so I might have to end up whispering to you for a little bit, but it's because I talk to myself all day, reading out loud the books that I find. It's lonely, but it's also very freeing being alone with my thoughts and words. Anyway, I'm sorry. Can I get you something to drink before we just spend time in the study together, looking at books, talking, whatever we want? Okay, well, there's always tea, coffee, water, and of course some whiskey, but we can wait until later for that one. Reading, I feel like reading gets so much harder when I'm a little tipsy, but my thoughts flow so much more easily and readily, so it's kind of a trade-off. I'll have to get all of my reading out at the beginning, and then we can discuss. When you accepted my invite to come over and hang out in the study, I picked some books that we could look through together. They may have no interest to you, but they're beautiful. So whether or not they're interesting, we can always just gaze at their beauty. Which, I don't know. It's like when someone's wearing a band tee that looks really cool and they're like, name the top 3 albums or name 4 of their songs kind of thing. And you're like, I just like the t-shirt. Sometimes I think books can be like that too. And maybe that's a uncommon feeling, but it's how I feel. So please feel free to get up and wander the study. If you see something you like, go grab it, flip through it, smell it, touch it, examine, read, whatever you please. Yeah. So, do you mind if I show you what I picked out? Okay, cool. So, I don't know where my fascination for Les Miserables. We can call it Les Mis here. I don't know where it started. I remember reading it in 8th grade, I believe. And I really, really enjoyed it, like, a lot. And I haven't read it since, but I remember it being so powerful and wonderful. And it made me want to find every copy of Les Mis out there that I could, from bookshops and book sales and garage sales and thrift stores, and just hoard them for my own, which is a little selfish now that I think about it. But yeah, I just started collecting versions of Les Mis, and this is one of them. Here, I'll give you a closer look. It's this red, dark red cover with gold details. This one doesn't really have too much of a scent. Actually never noticed that before. It almost smells burnt. Like there's a hint of ash or something in it. I don't know. But this is one of my copies. And I think this is only the first volume. As you can see, it says 1 right here. But I don't think I have the second volume, but oh well. Someone else has it somewhere in the world, which is kind of cool to think about. One of my favorite parts about this book, this specific copy of the book that is the first page. Well, maybe not the first, but it has this picture, and then they have this piece of, I don't even know what I would want to call it. Not parchment paper, but as you can hear, it's very crinkly. I think it's to protect the ink from getting onto the title page. And I don't know, I just really like that detail about this book. If I read to myself for a second. That was the preface. Have you read this book before? No. I would highly recommend it. There's so many versions of it that I'm sure you'll find one that fits you very well. And if you ever want to borrow one of my copies, please, please be my guest. I'm not going to show you all of my copies of Les Mis because, well, we would just be here for days, to be honest. But I did want to show you this other pair of Les Mis because I think they're very, unique. Their size specifically is so charming and intriguing, so I thought I would show you these. I'll show you up close. This is volume 1 and 2 of Les Mis. This is a dark blue. It's a nice cover, but it is soft and malleable. It's not hardcover. So we have dark blue, and again the gold detailing. And of course, an extra bonus is the little bookmark that comes with the book, which is also very nice, built in. You don't ever have to worry about using a random receipt or a piece of garbage that you found in your bag to mark your place. This one also has pictures at the beginning of the book. Also, just for size comparison, this is the first one that I showed you, and this is the second one. So as you can see, this one's a little more pocket slash bag sized, which is nice. This one has a little bit more fragrance to it. It's still not very fragrant though, which is funny because these are pretty old books. Actually, did we even look what year this was? I don't think we did. I don't think it even says. It says Les Mis, a novel by Victor Hugo, translated from the original French by Charles E. Wilbur, revised and edited by Frederick Minnen Cooper. Complete in 2 volumes, Volume 1. A. Albert Company, Publishers, New York, printed in USA. Interesting. I guess we'll never know. Anyway, yeah, there's actually not much of a smell on this book either, which is unfortunate, but it happens. Let's see if this one has... Oh, I'm looking at volume 2, so that might do it. Why there's not any information. The texture of this is very nice. Okay, let's see what it says. The front of this book is falling apart. It's very, very well loved. All it says is printed in Great Britain. Wow. Les Mis, Victor Hugo, Volume 1, illustrated by A. Dixon. London and Glasgow, Collins Clear Type Press. I guess they just didn't care to reveal their age. I really like the way these pages feel in my hands. Let's see if there's a portion I can read out loud to you maybe. Does that sound okay? Okay. Let's just look. There's something. Someone wrote in this book, which, again, people I think have mixed feelings about it, but I specifically like it just because when I buy it secondhand, I get to see what portions people thought were important to them or to the book. The same evening before retiring, he said too, "Never let us fear robbers or murderers. These are external and small dangers. Let us fear ourselves. Prejudices are the real robbers, vices, the true murderers. The great dangers are within ourselves. Let us not trouble about what threatens our head or purse, and only think of what threatens our soul." Interesting. That's something, or part of that was underlined, and I think that was actually a really interesting line. The great dangers are within ourselves. Little food for thought. Light food for thought. Do you prefer new books or secondhand books, if you don't mind me asking? Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. A little piece of paper that they left for me in there. So, yeah, I'm gonna spend so much time on each book, unfortunately. I should probably move along, but yeah, these are my two small pocket-sized versions of Les Mis. Do you want to take these home with you for a little bit? Yeah, I'll definitely. It's, I don't know if this, is this typeface? Oh my. I forgot this is the one falling apart. Is this typeface okay? It's a little small. Yeah, we're young, it's fine. Okay, so this is this is called Gardening Indoors with Houseplants by Raymond P. Poinslot. And obviously this is not any sort of novel or literary work of art, but I find like older books about plants and outdoors very, I don't know, charming. I've used that word too much, but there's just something what's the word I'm looking for? Just interesting. I always love the typeface. The typeface is always nice on older books. So this one doesn't have, this one does have rather quite a few pictures and illustrations, which I like. Which anyone that says that they don't like illustrations in their books still is just lying. Just straight up lying. Because it's always nice to flip to a page and find a picture or an illustration. Keeps the mind active and wanting more. Let's see. This is a page with just pictures, and this is what it is describing and showing. Repotting plants is a simple operation. Choose a clean new pot slightly larger than its predecessor and crock it. Cover the crocking with potting soil and then gently place plant in the pot, being careful not to disturb its root. Its roots fill in gaps around the root ball with soil and gently press the soil down. Wrap the pot on the floor to get rid of hair spaces and then water the plant liberally. And there's just something so pleasing about these kinds of books about gardening and food and outdoors, you know. Maybe it's just me, but I thought you'd appreciate it, which it seems like you do. Oh, yeah, those are fun things to look for in the bookstore too, especially secondhand. Yeah, exactly. See, you get it. I knew you would. That's why I picked it out. You know, like I said, I spend so much time alone talking to myself and writing and reading and just churning thoughts around in my brain. And although it's very fun and rewarding and relaxing, it is so much better to add someone in sometimes to bounce ideas off of and to connect with another person about this kind of stuff. So thank you again for coming over. I'm glad we could spend this time together. Yeah, there's not much I can read in this book out loud, at least because it's pretty informative, but if you ever need indoor plant information, you know where to get it. Alright, so the next book that I pulled for us to look at is definitely more for the aesthetics, which again you might not agree with, but this is the Poetical Works of Longfellow with Explanatory Notes. So that's the title, a brown cover, again with the gold detailing. We gotta do did we do a smell test on the other one? It's not old enough. It doesn't need a smell test. Once you pass a certain age, you need a smell test, apparently. Have I just been taking care of these books so well that they don't smell anymore? Oh, no, there's the smell. There's the smell. This one also smells like cigarettes, almost. Like someone smoked around this for a long time. I don't know. This is like 2 books in a row that smell smoky. This is let's see. Oh, I've been in my office or study all day that I'm getting sleepy. There's also just something very That can be very relaxing and soothing to just flip through books and have a cup of tea. So I think my body's like, ah, yes, it's time to go to bed soon. Publisher's preface. This was in July 1882. Yes, that's when this was published. This specific one. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what we can find for us to look at and read. I remember flipping through this a few weeks ago. I don't remember why I was specifically flipping through this one, but I was flipping through this, and I think there was something about a flower, and I can't remember what specific flower, but it's called Beautiful Lily. I'm going to quickly read through this to myself and then see if it's worth reading to you, because I can't remember if this was the good one. Is that okay? Okay. It's an okay poem. Let me find a couple lines that I prefer. We can go from there. Thou art the muse who far from crowded cities haunted the sylvan streams, playing on pipes of reed the artless ditties that come to us as dreams. O flower de luce, bloom on, and let the river linger to kiss thy feet. O flower of song, bloom on, and and make forever the world more fair and sweet. That was in 1866 that was written. I do love poems about nature specifically. They always resonate with me way more than some other poetry, but there is a poem by Mary Oliver, it's one of those that probably is too popular. Everyone likes it, but it's because it's so good. So of course it's going to be popular. Called Wild Geese. And it's truly one of the most beautiful poems I've read, and it just always makes me so comforted. So if you're interested in reading poetry, Mary Oliver has very good stuff. Are you much of a poetry person? I can't remember if... Yeah. Understandably, yeah. Sonnets, miscellaneous poems. Translations from Spanish, translations from Italian. I don't want to, again, bore you with excessive amounts of talking about one book, but if any of these, again, interest you, after we're done chatting and talking about these books, we can sit in silence and read and ponder, or we can drink whiskey and talk about not books, whatever you're up for. Okay. The last book that I pulled is both beautiful to look at and a good book, so it's a win-win. We get it all. We have The Fellowship of the Ring, being the first part of the Lord of the Rings. And just look at this cover. I'll give you a closer look, but it's just so good. And it has like a pink version on the spine that's also absolutely wonderful. Just like I found this and the two other Lord of the Rings trilogy books together at a thrift store, and I knew I had to get them for my study because it's one of those books that's like, do I need another copy of these? No, but they're so beautiful that why wouldn't I get them? I'll do what I please. Also, can you see that? Yeah. Not fun fact, but if you get hardcover books with the dust cover still on them, please look under and see if there's anything underneath, because sometimes there's nothing, or at least nothing different, but sometimes there's a little surprise like that, and that just made my heart so happy. So yeah, I thought we could just flip through this and just enjoy it. Let's see. Second edition, it says. We have The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King. This is the first one. Um, Copyright 1965. The Lord of the Rings. 3 rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne, in the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie, 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, in the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie. Maybe we can just have a weekly reading of The Lord of the Rings. I'll just read to you. I'm mostly kidding, but if you're interested, I would be happy to oblige. We have a prologue, and then a part of the Shire, a map. I love a good map. Maps and pictures, illustrations, all that good stuff. I remember oh wait. This one just doesn't smell good. There's no good old book smell, it just smells bad. I was going to say, the first thing that I was introduced to in the Hobbit, Lord of the Rings realm was there was an old animation of the Hobbit, and I used to watch that on VHS all the time. It wasn't really scary, but there were some parts that spooked me, but it was one of those films that I couldn't stop rewatching. And it's also kind of what you do when you have, a limited amount of VHS tapes. You kind of just cycle through those. And so The Hobbit, the animated old Hobbit, was something I used to watch all the time. So, yeah, that's kind of my first memory of Hobbit, Lord of the Rings lore and that kind of stuff. So, yeah. What about you? When were you introduced? When did you partake first? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's common. Mm. I feel like I've bored you long enough. Do you want to, what I feel like doing, and let me know if this is something that interests you. But I think I want to dim the lights in here a little bit, and we can read by candlelight, and just hang out for a little bit. Does that sound okay? Okay. Great. I will dim the lights and I will pick a book. Feel free to pick one of the ones that we've talked about in front of us, or get up, wander. You want this one? Okay, yeah, you can take that one. Let me just turn down the lights. And let me know if you need anything, okay?